Welcome to the latest edition of Business Spotlight. I'm joined today by Rick Hayden, and we're going to have a conversation around the psychology of sales. So, welcome to the call, Rick. It's good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
And I understand you're the founder of LearningCog.
Yes,
and that's all about people development, organizational development with a heavy dose of psychology. So, tell us a little bit about what you do and why you do it.
Oh, so what I do is we're I guess we're a training and development consultancy. At a nice base level of what we do. We work with small, medium, and large organizations around leadership and management, sales development, team development. So like the whole organizational development, kind of what we can do to support organizations to grow people and people to be, I guess, better at what they do.
Okay.
And with that, the reason why I do it is because I am ultimately passionate about how people can be the best that they can be. And quite often we need a bit of skills training, or we need a bit of mindset training or some coaching. And that's where we come in to be able to support that as well.
Because any organization is its people, isn't it? It's not just simply its systems and its products and services. It's its people.
Yeah, and that's how organizations grow. You can have product, you can have service, but it's the people that deliver those things that make it work.
And do you feel most business owners and most organizations truly understand, the depth and the importance and the value of the people in the organization, or is that where you're kind of filling in the gap and saying, look, you need to look a little bit closer about how you support your team, how you develop people professionally and personally as well?
I think historically, it was hit and miss. Yeah. Some organizations really invested in their people, and some organizations probably just did the tick box exercise of, oh, well, we should be training people and things like that. I think that view is leaving us.
Right. Okay. So what led you into this kind of work? What was your key motivator, and what drives you now around this?
So I remember, like, many years ago. So I've been working in training and development for 25 years. And I came out of university. So I did an arts degree, and then I studied psychology and did a master's in psychology. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, I get this. Yeah. I get how our psychology affects everything we do. And I moved into this realm of business psychology and what's it like for people in business. So I there with my master's degree and started a graduate program at one of the big banks, and very quickly moved from the being within the team and being on the phones and selling and doing things like that to training people. I found that thing that I was good at that point in time. So I moved into training people at that point in time, and then moved out of that. I traveled for a while, and I kept coming back into these training roles and doing these different things. And then came back to the UK and started in this. I'm going to work in training and development. I had this corporate career of doing that. I moved up the ladder quite far into like a head of learning and development role. And then 15 years ago, I came out of the corporate world and set up LearningCog. And that's when it got bigger and more involved and doing all of these different things as well. And I've had 15 great years of being able to support people to be the best that they can be.
See, what's coming across there, two passions in particular. One, well, obviously you're very, very much a people motivated person. And you also talked initially about sales, and interesting, you did so with some kind of passion and energy. Many people are scared of selling, and I know there's more than one style, but it feels very much as though your style would have been very much based around building relationships and trust with your potential customers. And I'm guessing your training is built around that as well. Is that something you recognize in most businesses, or do you feel they take a more sort of structured approach? And where's the opportunity there?
I think, again, if I go back to thinking about what it's been like historically,
Yeah,
it's, it used to be quite a structured, this is the sale, this is the way that we deliver that sale.
yeah,
And it can be very formulaic in what we say, this is the playbook, this
yeah,
is how we want people to be able to sell our products and be able to do this.
yeah.
And actually, that's not going to be successful for everyone.
No,
And when we think about, if we think about the psychology of sales, is and there's statistics out there that will tell you about this all the time, that around about 80% of people buy from people.
yeah, yeah,
Now, that's the statistics that has stood the test of time. It's how do we build a relationship with someone? Even more so now because we are saturated with everything. Yeah. So there isn't necessarily that many niche markets for that one thing that like you have to come to us to be able to buy this product.
yeah.
And actually, because of that, the people element, that human element of the decision to be able to buy something comes down to that interaction that we have with that other person.
Which makes that interaction so much more vital. I mean, we hear about how AI is helping sales, but ultimately, at the end of the day, all AI is doing is optimizing the sales system and the sales process. People still buy from human beings.
Yeah.
But if you're right on that point, and I believe you are, that means there's greater risk associated with it as well. Because if two parties, one selling and one potentially buying, don't have that personal human connection at the right point and to the right depth, the sale's going to fall through. So that kind of puts more
100%.
pressure on the human being. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's really interesting when we think about that, because the way that the marketplace has changed within sales and purchasing, buying something is a considerable amount of the sales process has already taken place before the salesperson even has a conversation. Yeah. So a lot of the decision making process is driving in that direction. So I talk to a lot of salespeople about professional presence.
Yeah.
So how am I showing up even before I turn up to a video call?
They're virtual
Yes.
digital presence
Yeah.
effectively
That's
on LinkedIn,
what,
for example.
yeah.
Yeah.
LinkedIn
Right.
is the most amazing place to be able to think about that. It's where your sale begins. If you are a salesperson, people are researching you. So as soon as I've got that idea that I've got a need for something, whether I'm changing my winter coat, we all need them at the moment. Or whether I am finding an architect, or whether I am getting a consultant into my business, before I have a conversation with somebody about that sale, they've already done a lot of research. They've already been finding out these different places. So that kind of footprint that we have, that professional presence, is really key, and people do it really badly.
So this is where you come in as well. So what are your kind of conversations with people around this and the psychology of it?
Yeah, so it's about finding that place where your customers are. Yeah.
Yes.
So and knowing, like, a lot of people will tell you, I get this all the time. I get about 10 connection requests a week from organizations that will throw AI into my pipeline generation process, and they'll do all these different fancy things on LinkedIn, and this is what they're advertising as who they are. But the only thing about that is every single person is saying that they can do it, and everything's focused on it being in one place. But actually, there's different buyers go to different places. So TikTok is a great place for selling for a certain kind of product, and LinkedIn is a really good professional services place to be able to do something. So we use LinkedIn. We are business to business in the way that we work. And Facebook has still got a marketplace. It is dying off, but it's a great place for people to be able to get things. It just depends where your customers are.
Yeah.
And then the human element that comes into it. So I just said, I get about 10 requests a week from people who want to connect with me. And you can see from their bio that they're going to make me $1 million in about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not true.
Yeah.
But also, it's just a request.
Hmm.
There's no human connection within that. They don't send the personalized note that comes to it. That is the number one thing when you're making a request or a connection to somebody, whether you're doing it in outbound email, whether you're doing it on LinkedIn, whether you're doing videos on YouTube. What is that personal human approach that is going to interact with that person? And it's the difference between me clicking yes on connecting with someone and clicking no on connecting with somebody. And
Yeah.
we need that human connection
Yeah.
to be able to engage.
And I guess it takes a lot of skill and even learning for some individuals to learn how to make that connection, to learn how to come across as being more personable and being there. I know it's a cliche, but their genuine, authentic self. Because I mean, in my work with my clients around sales in particular, I encourage them to be true to their culture and their values. They have a better chance of making a sale if they're not pretending to be somebody else, but being themselves. So, for
Yeah.
example, if an estate agent is trying to sign somebody up to to sell their house through them, to do it at a human level, at a personal level, rather than a trickery kind of model about with scarcity and all those kind of things weaving into it, just to come across um, as true to yourself, and therefore that implies that the organization has to hire the right kind of salespeople that are going to represent their vision and their values and their culture properly as well, and not going to go out there and misrepresent it. Is that a fair
Yeah. So
point? Yeah.
hiring the right people is key. You need somebody that wants to be able to do that.
Yeah.
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 And the other thing I say in any hiring process is the number one thing to be able to do is someone coachable?
That's
Yeah.
interesting. Yes.
Um, because if somebody is coachable, then
Yeah.
actually that training can be put in and you can get people to be able to
Yeah.
change.
Growth
Yeah.
mind, growth
So
mindset maybe is an element of it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Like
Yeah.
what's coming? Do I want to be here? I've got the mindset to be able to do it. Am I coachable?
Yeah.
Be able to get in and do that. Because if you are a really great manager and you've got a really great business and you've got those values, you can bring people to be part of that. And it takes time, but those people will be absolutely amazing.
Yeah. I think that's a really valid point. Okay, let's look to the future. So we're looking at an environment, an industry where automated systems are increasingly making their presence felt and known. Um, and we've been talking, you and I today, about how important the human element is in any process. Sales is obviously one process, but communication, team building, team alignment, recruitment, we've mentioned that the human element is important in all of those things. Are you optimistic or pessimistic about where personal kind of interactions and psychology of all of this is coming to play going forwards?
I think I sit on the fence. And it's really interesting because I've always been like an early adapter to things. I'll dive in things. I love to
Yeah,
learn and I'll be like, what's this new thing? And I do, I'll use AI to be able to enhance some of the things that we can do.
yeah,
If you think about on the base level of AI, like most meetings and calls take place virtually now to be able to do those things. And
yeah,
you can use that to be able to, don't have to take your meeting notes anymore. It can summarize what you've got, but it's there and it's real information. It's not my opinion of it afterwards or the bits that I chose to remember from that call that we did. I've got that script that
yeah,
came from that conversation.
yeah,
And actually, that allows me to then turn that around and be able to do exactly what the customer needs. But
yeah,
it's me doing that. It's the human connection that we
yeah,
make that draws that information out.
yeah,
So on one side, I am optimistic to say actually technology, and it's, it's been around for years in various forms, but it's fast moving with AI. I think it's there to be able to enhance, and it would be amazing the way that it enhances all these different things that we do. But I'm
Yeah.
also pessimistic about it because in the wrong hands, it
Yeah.
makes people lazy.
Yeah.
And it's that laziness, like that idea of I'm not going to put a message in when I make a LinkedIn connection to somebody. That it's that laziness that comes to it.
Yeah.
The other side when I think about this is um, there's lots of research being done at like I guess like the dumbing down of society in a way that if we continue to use all of these enhancements, we actually stop learning.
Yeah.
Um, and and especially for me, as in, my a lifelong passion for learning, but also to support others for learning,
Yeah.
like that's what makes things fall apart,
Yeah.
and it's what will stop us from having those human connections with people, which is where the sale happens or where the
Agree.
manager works with their team member really well.
I agree. I think what we're likely to see is a divergence where people-orientated organizations become better at it, and systemized, sort of more cold type approach will probably come better at what they do too. And and there'll be a divergence between the two. But I'm certainly, as a business coach and a mentor and a former head teacher who believes in lifelong learning and personal development, I'm always going to be on your side of the fence, I think. So it's been
Great side of the fence to be.
it is. Rick, it's been fantastic. I'm really interesting talking to you, and I'm really interested to see where your industry goes, and training and relationships, things of that nature. And yeah, fantastic. I wish you all the best for the future, and let's see where things end up in sales training going forwards. Fantastic.
Excellent. Thank you very much. It's been great catching up with you and talking.
Thank you.